Hey, what's up my peoples? Emgo here, the freaking geek himself, and it's time to just transform Magic Square Tornado. So without further ado, let's just transform it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take his toes here, and we're going to rotate them 180. Then we're going to take this whole section here, and just rotate that down. We're going to take this whole side panel here. Going to untab it. Then we'll just drop down. Then you want to take it and rotate it up like so. Come to the inside here. We have this little panel we want to undo, and we also have this panel right here that we also want to flip out. Then we want to take this shin panel here, bring this up, flip this panel in, and then you can just close that up. One thing to note also, the knee joint, you want this pushed up, so make sure you have it clicked up so you have the joint in that position, otherwise things will not line up here. So make sure you have the knee joint in that position. So once you have done that, you want to take this assembly here, you want to bring this up, swing this part down, and now this tab will go into this slot right here. And that's why you need to have that knee joint in just the right place, because otherwise that will not line up and tab in. So you want that tabbed into the inside of the thigh, like that, bring that up so it's looking like that. So now you want to take this panel here and flip that up. You want to take this section here. It's actually tabbed in right there. So you can lift this up first and then just unclip all of that. And you want to bring this around. Flip this panel in. Got to bring that up a little bit. And bring this around and then slide it down. Get those out of your way. So it's looking like that, and then you can bring that down. So you're going to take this section here, swing it up, you're going to rotate that section with the toe, back down, and then take all this and swing this in, collapse all this up. There'll be a tab slot connection that happens right there. Swing that around, and that will sit there like that. And once you've done that, you want to come to this panel, and you have this section here that you want to flip up. You're going to flip out this little panel here, and then bring this down, and this will come down and just clip in right there. Once you've done that, you just bring this up, and all of this will just tab in at multiple points. And you got that side all done. And then same thing on the other side. So again, untab all this, bring it down, rotate that up. You want to take the toe and rotate that 180, and then just bring all this down just to get things out of the way. Take this little panel here, open that up, take this panel here and open that up, and then take this shin panel here, bring that up, flip this panel in, and just collapse that up against his leg. And again, you want to make sure that that knee joint is clicked up so it's sitting like that. And then you gotta take this section here, untab it, swing this panel down, and again that tab slot connection right here, the inside of the thigh. Get that tabbed into place. Take this panel here, flip that up, and untab all of this, and bring this up, flip this panel in, swing this around, and slide that in, and bring that down. And then just bring the toes back in, bring this up, swing this in, and swing all this in. That'll just tab in right there. For this section here, you just want to swing out this panel, flip out this panel, bring this down, and clip that in, and then just bring everything in and tab all of that in like that. So once you've done all that, you have this little T-tab right here that you want to flip down. That will end up going right into these notches on either side. Now we want to take this entire assembly here. You can see it's on double hinge. We want to take it and shift it back like that. Shift this back. There we go, like that. And then we can bring the two halves together. So just kind of line everything up. And if you have everything lined up, it should all kind of engage that ab crunch there. It'll give you some clearance to work. And this is kind of the hard part, because the ratchets themselves in the legs kind of don't want to work with you. You can kind of see I'm having trouble straightening this leg out. There we go. I think I got it to click. There we go. There, and also make sure that these side panels are going into these panels here as a tab slot connection there as well. So we have a lot of tabs and slots here to line up. There we go. There, get that there. Tab in the front. The weapon does plug right in here, but that's not crucial to the transformation right now, so we're not going to show that. And there you go. And there you have the front part of the helicopter all done. So now for the upper body, first you want to remove these guns here. They just tab into the side and to the back of the forearm, so you just pop those out. Put those off to the side. You want to take these sections here. You want to rotate them 180. Now you want to bring the arm up on this double hinge, and you have a tab that will go into this slot right here. So just line that up and get that in, and then you're going to open up this section here, and you're going to rotate the hand in like that, and then close that right back up. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So again, just line up that tab and slot. And sometimes this can be a little tricky to do just to get it lined up. There we go. Get that popped in, and then open this up, rotate that hand in, be mindful of the fingers there, and then you just want to open that up, swing that hand in, and just make sure the fist is balled up like that, and close that back up, and that's ready to go. So you want to come back here, you want to untab the backpack, and it will kind of pull out all this stuff here. You have these little fins, just kind of unfold these, just kind of free all this up, bring all that down. Now for the arms, all this section is just kind of connected right in here, so you just raise that up, just kind of get that up, get that out of the way, kind of swing those in, and again, just bring that up, and just kind of swing that under, get that out of the way, and just kind of free all that up like that. And now you're going to open these sides up, so just untab, and you'll see all of this in here, just unfolds, and it keeps unfolding. And this bit here is on a slider, so you just slide that in. You have a little panel in here that you flip out to finish off that tail section. And you're doing pretty much the same thing on the other side. So again, just unfold, and do some more unfolding. And just compress that bit in, flip this little panel out, and that's pretty much ready to go. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take these panels here, you just kind of want to swing them out. They're on a double hinge, so just swing them out so they're, kind of sitting over this front section here. And you want to make sure you have all this pushed up as far as it can go, because you have a little lock right here. It's going to lock the ab crunch. So just take that and just bring that down, and that locks that in. Once you've done that, you want to take these sections here, and they're just going to tab in on either side. You want to make sure that this section is straight, because you're going to have tab slot connections, 2 tab slot connections on either side here. So get that lined up and get that pushed in like that, and do the same thing on the other side. Get that lined up, and it's going to tab in right here as well. It's really going to hook in more than tab in. And then just get these 2 tabs lined up and get that pushed in. So you got it looking like that. At this point, you can take this section, just bring it forward and down. You have tab slot, drop that down, and just get that popped into place. So at this point, you want to take his head, you want to rotate it 180, and then bring it all the way back. And then you're going to collapse this up. You're going to bring these sides up, and you're going to rotate these in. You don't want to connect them just yet, but you're just going to bring it up. So all that is looking like that. These little bits here, make sure these are just folded all the way up and sitting as flush as possible. And all this is going to now swing up. And now these sections here are going to slide over this T-tab. So bring that up and slide that on. And then bring in the other half and slide that on. And then you can connect the two arms via that post right there. And you can take these sections here and just swing them back. So at this point, we can take these panels here and just bring them up some. We do have a landing gear right back here. You can bring that down. And now it's just a case of closing all of this up. So just peg all that together. These two panels have the little dovetail. Just connect those together like that. And then you can drop that down and tab that in. You can bring these fins down. Straighten that out, and then just open that up. And then we can take the blades here and untab them and extend them. Do that with all four. And get that all straightened out. So you got it looking like that. And the last thing to do is bring in these little blasters here. They're going to tab into these slots right here on either side. So just work that in. Work that in. And there you go. There you have Tornado in his alt mode. And now to get him into combine mode, first thing we're going to do, we're going to remove these bits here and put those off to the side. I'm going to take the blades here and collapse them up like so. If you have this whole section up, you can just push it down. And at this point, we're going to start just undoing everything. So first thing we're going to do is come back here and undo the back. You can raise these bits up, get them out of the way. And you probably will need a tool. Luckily there's an opening here. You can kind of get under here and just pop these panels up and untab them, and then just splits all of this down the middle. Bring these back down, split all that down the middle. And then you want to undo this section here. Get in here and undo that. Undo that. Just bring all that out and drop all that down just to get that out of the way. And then you can take this section here and just pop this up, and you might need a tool. Everything holds in quite securely on this figure, so a little too securely. But just get everything popped up. And as best you can here. Just get everything pried open. A tab there. There we go. Just free that up like that. Now you want to undo these side panels here. Just get all that freed up. Free that up. Free up the other side. It helps if you undo these tabs first, and then you can pop that. And just get that freed up. So we did all this, so we can then undo these side panels here. And again, you may need a tool. Because all this holds together very securely. So take this, and now you want to rotate this around. You do want to collapse this section up, so unhook it, bring this up, flip that in, and then bring that down like that. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, maybe a little prying tool here just to help you out. Get that swung around and undo this panel here, bring that up, swing that in, and swing that in. So now, get in here and split the main section. Get everything pried open. Guys, we need to do some work with this stuff here. So you want to take this section, and you want to extend it back, rotate around. You want to bring this up, and bring this down, so it is sitting like that. One thing to note is there is a little clip here. It's a little hook that goes into this tab right here. So if you don't have that in place, make sure you have that popped in on both sides. So you just bring that down, and now you want to take this and collapse it up, and this will tab into the sides like that. And you basically want that looking like that. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So take this, send it back, bring this up, bring this down. There we go. Bring that down so it's sitting like that. If that's not clipped in, just make sure that is clipped in all the way down like that. Bring this around, and now bring this up and tab this in like that. And once you've done that, you can now take this and get it all tabbed back together. Make sure that's down. Get that all tabbed back together. Tab back together. So you got it looking like that. So basically now you want to get all this set up pretty much the way it was. So line this up and tab these sections in. So get that in. Get that in either side like that. This bit is going to come forward, and there'll be that tab slot connection right there on either side. So just get that lined up, tab that in, get that lined up, and get that tabbed in. There we go. So you got it like that. And then you can take this section here and bring it up and get this back together the way it was, and bring these back. Now, there's two ways you can do the tail. You can bring this all back together and just have a single straight tail, and that's all there is to it. Or you can do it in the alternate configuration, and I'll show you how to do that. So bring these sections out. There's going to be a tab slot connection right up here. So tab that in, and tab that in. You're going to take the very tip of the tail, if it hasn't done it for you already, just extend this hinge out and then collapse this in, like so. And for full transparency, I don't know exactly the exact orientation of some of these parts, so part of me is kind of guessing here. But take that, and you want to collapse this up like so. Then you just want to bring that fin up, and then you're just going to rotate this in, and there'll be a tab slot connection right there. Tab that in, tab that in. Now, pictures that I've seen don't have these parts visible, so I think maybe you're supposed to kind of fold them in just to kind of keep them out of the way and keep them not as visible, and flip this in as well. Again, I'm not sure, and the instructions aren't clear. The instructions suck for this, so that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. And then you would just take this panel here and bring it up, and that exposes the combiner ports and the elbow joints right there. And there you have Tornado in his combined mode. So now to get him back into robot mode, we'll just start with the legs here. So again, just split all this and use a tool if you need to. Get those legs open. You want this little T-tab here and just flip that back up. You want to untab this side panel here. Just get that out of the way. You want to take all this, and you want to unclip this section here. So just give it a little tug. Again, things hold together very securely. There we go. Unclip that, and then just straighten out this double hinge here. So bring this up, keep that out of the way. We're going to take this assembly here. We're going to swing it up, swing this out, swing this out, and rotate that up. And going to happen here is this section, there's a tab slot connection right here, so just tab that in like that. And, oh, actually, before we do that, my apologies, we have a little panel here we need to flip out. There's a lot of little filler panels, so tab that back in, and now you can close that panel up. And now we're going to take this section here, bring this forward, flip this panel out. We're going to untab this panel here from the inside of his thigh, and this one holds in very securely, so you won't need a tool. There we go. Untab that, swing this section out, bring this in, little dovetail tab that will sit right there. Then you bring this down, tab, tab, right there, and then you bring this section in, and that'll just clip in right there. At this point now, you can bring the foot up, bring this section up, and the foot, you can see there's a little notch here for this little dovetail right there. So just drop that on top of it, and then just rotate his toe around, and then just bring this up, tab all of this in like that, and this panel you want to bring down so the back of the leg is black instead of blue. And that all will sit like that. And there you have the leg all done. And the second verse is just like the first, so untab, just get that freed up, bring this up, unclip this, so you can straighten all of this out. Make sure you flip up this little panel, don't forget like I did. And then just rotate this section out, bring this out, rotate that out. Tab slot connection right here for this section, so just tab that in. And then you can close that little panel up. Extend this, flip this panel out, and oh, before we do that, we need to undo that. There's an order of operations here. Bring that out, and then bring this down and get that into place. And now bring all that down, tab that in, and then close that up right there. Bring that up, and bring that down. Bring down that foot over that tab, and then you can just rotate the toe around. Take this panel here, bring it up, and tab it in on the front and the back, like so. Take this panel here, flip it down, so the back of the leg is black. And one more thing you can do is you can take the knee joints here and just bring them forward, like that. And there you have the lower body all done. So now we're going to take this panel here, we're going to bring this down, bring these sections out, extend these bits out, and we just have to start, again, just kind of undoing everything here. So undo this, bring these up, split this first, get in there, there we go, split that, and bring it open, and tab these bits as well, tab these bits, and undo all that, and drop all of that down. Come here, get this wiggle loose, get that all situated there. You can undo this little latch here for the ab crunch, and then we can open these sections up. Again, can hold quite securely. So let's bring those out. So now for these sections, you want to open this up a little bit. You want to take this section here and rotate that in, and just bring that fin up. So now this will fold back, this will fold in, and then you can close this up. It's just you can have the clearance. And then you bring this in, and then fold all of this into the body. So it's sitting in there like that, with that orientation. And on the other side, you're pretty much doing the same thing. So again, just open that up a little bit, flip this bit in, and then bring up this fin here, and then flip that under, bring that over, you can close that back up, bring that in, bring that in, and now we can bring all of this in. So now we can bring the chest piece up and tab all of that into place like that. So now you want to take these bits here and just flip them out. These bits here, flip them out. Just going to get his head straightened out there, rotate around, and bring all this down. And the arms, you can see there's a little notch. It's going to sit right in there. So just drop the arms down and drop those shoulders down. And then just bring these sections here to fill out the chest. So once that's done, you want to bring all of this up. And these fins here and this will end up just collapsing right up in here, basically like that. If you can see, you basically want those fins sitting over this section here. That's sitting over that. And once you do that, you can then tab all this in so it's looking like that. And we're at the home stretch. Just got to get the arms transformed. So open up this section here, rotate the hand out, close that up, and untab the forearm. So you can straighten out the arm, rotate this bit up, and second burst is like the first. Undo that, rotate, close that back up, untab that forearm there, straighten the arm out, and then rotate that up. And there you go. There you have Tornado back in robot mode.